What's going on, everybody? It's Eli here from TreeFall Studios, and welcome to a brand new live stream. This is episode 15. That's right, this is the 15th episode that we have done of our live dev series just this year. So we just started this year, and we are now about 3 weeks into it. Guys, let me know how my microphone is sounding. I can see it looks like everything's coming through good, and we should be up and ready to go. I got everything set up, shared out on social media. Welcome and thanks for tuning into the stream, guys. I appreciate it. I got a couple things to set up really fast. Let me go through here and open up a couple of our programs, and we will get started. Space My Name, welcome. See your comment. Welcome to the stream, sir. Thanks for joining in. Today, we're actually going to be changing it up just a little bit. I told you guys that we would try to do something new and get off the Pitterpot Hub world yesterday, but I did some calculations, some planning based on the time that it takes me to do development and what deadlines we need to hit. And I'm actually going to start throwing some maze work into our live streams if I'm going to get this game out on time next month. So what we're going to do is we're going to start working on Maze Rising Trials today for the beginning part of today's stream. And then if we finish the task that I've got set out for today's stream, I do have something in Pitterpot that I would like to do. I mentioned yesterday that we're going to create a new enemy. I have a new enemy concept out, and I thought maybe we could model him and talk about what he's going to be doing and how he's going to be attacking Pitterpot in the new game. So maybe we'll get to that today by the end of the stream. If not, we'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow is... let's see. Let me look at the timeline here. Yeah, I think tomorrow will be another game development stream, but Friday we might be just doing a chill stream. Not so sure just yet, but we're going to be doing Maze today. So let my computer run. It's got to take a second to pull up the giant Unity project. And it's going to load for just 1 second. But thanks for tuning in to this stream, everybody. I can see you guys tuning in. Glad you are here today. I have some new news as well on top of just our changing it up today. You can see it's not there. Of course, the way that this look at the news banner, the way it runs is it doesn't start over from the beginning every single time I switch scenes. So it will have to rotate through. But this, thanks for watching, is the final news banner item. And there's a new one in the beginning. So you'll see that today starts Sony's summer sale. So PlayStation has a massive summer sale just like Steam, and it starts today. We don't have all of our games featured in it like we did with the Steam sale, but we do have quite a few good games on sale. So if you want to pick up some TreeFall Studios titles, there are some games on sale. Our Maze series is featured, so the original Maze and Maze Pedestal of Trials. Pitterpot is featured, so if you want to grab Pitterpot for real cheap and you haven't played it yet, we've been working on the sequel to that game. You can pick that up. Night Detective is also on sale, and that's featured in there. So if you haven't played the story for Night Detective, that would be a good time to pick it up. It's half off. And then I think the only other one is this is the first time Micro Challenge has actually been on sale. It's on sale by like 25 or 30% or something like that. So it's probably going to be like 30 cents instead of 50 cents. So that's on sale, and the full Tilt bundle is on sale too. So you can technically get a discount on buying Tilting Tiles 1 and 2 all together at once. So that's what we got featured in Sony's sale. I'm pretty excited about that. So you guys can pick up some TreeFall Studios titles and support us that way as well. All right, I got Unity loaded up here. Let me switch over, and then we can get rolling. All right, yeah, see you guys popping in the stream. Welcome, welcome. So this is where I took the thumbnail. It's where we left off. I'm going to run through the maze real fast and show you guys one of the new things, because there's two tasks that I kind of need to work on. And it's starting to fill out some of the details of this maze. We're going to be placing these grass clumps around the edges of the maze. And then also I've built you can't see it because it's invisible, but there's a game object here that is a super jump pad, and we need to build an actual object in order to have the player know where the super jump pad is. and so that they can see how to jump onto it and where they're going to launch from. But I'm going to run through the level to show you guys what the new jump pad looks like, see if I can get your feedback on it, because it's going to be pretty cool, I want to say. It's going to be pretty cool. And then I'll go ahead and show you guys a little bit about the grass. Also, this stream is going to be a little bit shorter than it was in the past. This past week, we've been hitting 2 hours every single day, but we're going to be hitting about an hour and a half on the dot. I'm going to be trying to wrap up between 4:30 and 4:45 Eastern Standard Time today. So we're going to try to book it along with what we're getting done in today's stream. So I changed the grass. I don't know if I showed this on the stream or not. I had the old grass in here. I might have shown it just briefly, maybe last week. I don't think I showed it at all this week. But the grass is a new texture that I drew for this game, and I think it's pretty good. It's got a little bit of, height to it and a little bit of kind of clumps to it, but it still looks highly green and saturated and very cartoony, which fits in with our maze theme. I still like the maze brick that I made for this game. It looks pretty good. And we're trying to figure out how we're going to denote this game separately from its predecessor. And we're going to be doing a bunch of new items and putting new environment art all throughout the level. So I went through a bunch of iterations on little grass clumps, and I created like a model that's exactly the length of one size of a maze wall. And then I started duplicating them and then dragging them around so you can see there's like kind of grass clumps around every single edge. Let me know what you guys think of this. I think it looks pretty good, and so far this is the one we're keeping. I also put the grass clumps at the top edges of the maze. I don't know if I'm going to keep those, but I think that they look pretty good because when the sun comes down, it actually creates like a little bit of a shadow with some of the grass clumps, and then you can kind of see it doesn't look like exactly like a square, so it looks less blocky and gives it a little bit more life and shape. So yeah, ignore that. That's just the game engine chugging for a second. And then we go in this elevator and then we rise up here. Did you see that? We're dropping some hardcore frames here. That's just because it takes a lot to run it in the editor like this. And actually, you know what? I'm going to pause it real fast. I'm going to just go ahead and close Unity Hub, guys. That'll get one more program out of the way because we're not going to open up another project. Get that closed, and then we'll close this out here. Yeah, so it's kind of hard and heavy to run in the editor instead of like having it being built. And we're running the stream and some web pages and all that, so it's running a little hot here on the computer. So we got a bunch of verticality to this maze. This is the only maze I'm gonna really work on a bunch. So I'm trying not to spoil the paths through the maze because that's kind of like the whole point of this game. So we're not going to really be looking at the other levels. I've already kind of shown this level off, the route, but the coins haven't been placed, so you'll have to find coins as well. And, I'm sure when you guys play it yourselves, it'll still be easy to get lost, even though this maze is straightforward as it is the first maze of this game. It's actually just the tutorial level. So there aren't too many hallways to get lost in for this one. You can go down a couple of different paths, but they're pretty short, so it's not punishing, and it'll teach you, just to turn back around. And we'll show, the checkpoints still work in this game. You can drop a checkpoint like that, and then you can see you have a little crystal, and then, let's say you jump back down here and you didn't mean to. Well, you can just press a button and warp right back to your checkpoint, and you can drop another one wherever you want to. So that feature is still going to be in this game. We're going to edit it, though. We're not going to make it exactly the same. I'm going to probably redo the model for the actual checkpoint, and I'm going to be redoing, you see this is just a black animation closing, like curtains closing. There's going to be just a little bit of a shakeup. We're probably going to do some angled stuff where it closes like that. Just so it's completely different than the other games. So guys, this is what we're going to be working on in just a little bit. That just looks like a square. It just looks like a plain square. But what we're going to do is building a launch pad that has kind of like an animated moving, or my first idea anyway, is having like almost where it looks like the tilting tiles spinning little teleport, but instead it's going to be like launching up and shrinking up forward. So it kind of shows the player that they're going to be shooting upwards and maybe have some particle effects to go along with it. But I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when you jump in it. And I'm going to have you guys vote in the chat here what you guys think. So I kind of came up with the solution. I asked my wife what she thought because I wanted to, first off, I was playing around with the height. So when you jump on the super jump pad, it launches you through the sky. So this is pretty cool because we have this little opening here in the bottom of the maze, and then when you jump on it, it launches you straight up. So I think I've finally got the perfect height on how much force to shoot the player up with, but I kind of wanted to have some special effects. So it actually, not only do we drop in some motion blur right now, but we also kind of blur out the background. And I was afraid, I think it looks really cool, but I was afraid that it might make people sick. So I toned it down to where it only happens for like half a second right after you launch. So you're kind of like, boom, and then it's kind of like you're blinded for a second, and then you kind of, get your bearings, and then you start falling down to land. So you guys are going to be able to see what that looks like in just a second. So we're about to take that on. And then, so we launch up and we fall down. So I'm going to show you guys one more time. So you land on the jump pad. Everything blurs, motion blurs for just a second as you're getting your bearings, and then you can land and drop right back down into the maze. So I decided that I think that that's pretty cool. I really like the effect, although I know that some people might still get motion sickness from it. So my compromise is I'm going to try to put an option in the game to where you can turn that off if you don't want to see it. So hopefully it won't make any players sick. At first, when we were testing out the super jump pads, you can actually make it just to this wall, but you could make it, in the first part, it was like so high you could jump and like just so you could see way down here, but then you could kind of just, fly over here to the finish. And I didn't really like that. So I think I got the height just about right. So that's what we're going to be working on today, is finishing this up. And we are going to be working on placing more grass clumps around the maze while we just hang out and chill. I think this is pretty cool. And this, so you can't mess this up. You can't jump while you're in super jump mode. So you can't like double jump out of it, and it can't mess up your gravity or anything like that. And you can continue bouncing on it like it's a mushroom almost. You can just randomly land on it if you don't, because if you don't figure it out and you don't realize, oh, I need to move, you'll fall back down the hole. You're not going to fall off because it's the exact same size of this hole. So you would just land on the pad again and launch back up and then go, oh, that was crazy. So it's definitely fun. Definitely a fun new mechanic that was not in the original game. Did I have the checkpoint? Yeah, let's see if I can warp back. Yeah, so that's pretty cool, and it fits in line with the Rising Trials theme. It's going to be pretty sweet. If you guys saw when we were first walking in the level, usually we do, TreeFall Studios game, Eli Brewer game, that kind of thing in the beginning of the maze games and stuff. And the logo is going to flash for Maze Rising Trials when you jump through the floor and land up there on the top floor. So it's going to be a cool intro level to get people excited for this game, and I think it's going to be definitely a fun experience when you guys play it yourselves. So if you can see, we got grass here, and we got it everywhere. We might just go ahead and go to maximize this. And I was thinking of putting it around every corner, basically, because it's so small. Like, the models themselves are so small that they're not really obtrusive, and they kind of just hang out on the side here, just giving a little bit more dimension instead of just walls. I mean, I know we got some normal maps and some shadows going on with our bricks, so you can see our bricks look 3D, so the walls aren't totally bland, but we want to make them a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to place these all around, and we're going to basically use this as like a base. But if you guys have played the older maze games, you know that there's a bunch of objects just dragged around, things like little grass clumps, mushrooms, vines that might grow on the ground, different flowers like sunflowers. Sometimes there's butterflies that will be flying around the flowers and stuff. So we're still going to do that with a whole new set of models for this game. But I think that this will be like the base, and these will be basically on every wall. And then from there, we will be able to add in even more things like new flowers, new sunflowers, new butterflies. Definitely going to redo the butterflies. And I'm actually thinking of doing even more this time because I was thinking of maybe doing some like bugs that crawl on the ground right across in between the grass clumps, like have a bug spawn like randomly in the clumps, and then like maybe a caterpillar like inch across the ground and despawn over in the next clump of grass. So different things like that, to really make this come alive and you feel like you're really just in this isolated maze all alone, but you're not really alone. There are creatures and wildlife all around. This time I think we'll do a little bit more. In the original maze, I made like one vine that would go like just be placed on some walls randomly, and I didn't really know if I liked the art or not. It was kind of ugly to me, so like I only used it in a couple sections. But I think maybe what we can do for this game is have a little bit more foliage that can go just randomly, like some leaves that can be spawned on the bricks to where like it looks like some grass is growing outside of the bricks and stuff like that, and like kind of swamped over, maybe some decals, some moss growing on some of the bricks and stuff like that. This doesn't look right. Let's go here. So yeah, I think overall this is going to look pretty good. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking of the art for this game so far. I think it's going to turn out pretty good. I basically made this model here to where I could duplicate it and I wouldn't have to do too much work by dragging it along because it's tied exactly to one space. So it's kind of like tied to the grid. Everything is built on a grid in this game, which helps me build the levels and put the models together. So yeah. The only thing about it, I was thinking like, okay, we can't have too many mazes. There's two mazes that are going to have this art style, so I'm going to have to do this for two different levels, but some of the other levels are going to have different art styles, so they're not going to have this grass. But I was thinking like, okay, we could do this. We got to do this by hand because, we're not modeling it. We're building one model, this one right here, and then it's being duplicated and placed all over the place. It's not being done in Blender or anything like that. But when you zoom out and you look at all of the edges of the maze, like even for this one, this is the smallest maze in the game. This is level 1. It's going to take forever for me to hand drop and place all of these pieces of grass. We could probably spend the entire stream today just clicking around and moving this grass. We're not going to do that. I'm going to place it around for like a little bit so we can get a little bit more, try to see if we can build out floor number 2, and then we'll move on and do some of our super jump modeling. I'll pull up Blender and we'll go in there and we'll model a couple of edges, and then we'll just drop a color on it. We'll probably do a color gradient, and then we'll probably try to do some code together so we can maybe get some rudimentary movement so we can see, so you guys can see kind of what I'm talking about with what we're going to go for in the end. It's when you got these long straight walls like this though. Is this 1 or 2? Did I get 2 of them? Is that just 1 wall? I guess it is. It just looked like it would have been 2. When you get a long straight section like that, this isn't too bad as far as tedious work goes. But if you guys are going to be learning anything through our live stream series, is that there is so much about game development that is all about details, and things are highly tedious. And you got to work through all of those things in order to get a good game for your fans. So let's jump into the level again real fast. Let's unmaximize this. Let's go to our game. We gotta redo that. Let's go take a look at the grass now that we got it around like one side. Let's go run up to that floor and then like let's see what that looks like. Boom. It loaded it at that time without having a problem. Let's, for some reason if I do this and then re-click into it, that's the way the code works. It works when we build the PC version. It will hide the cursor. And already we can see we got some rendering, some problems, like where it de-renders for some reason. And I haven't even got that to the settings that I wanted yet. So we're gonna have to change that so you can see. You see, look how it de-renders like almost completely. Gonna have to get rid of that, that's for sure, and make it be able to be seen a little bit more easily. But I want to say that this looks pretty good. The shadows out here look pretty good. We already have some post-processing here, so you can see some darker shadows in the corners, and the darker shadows around by the grass clumps give some real good dimension. And yeah, you turn around in here and you're boom, you're lost in the maze. Looks pretty good. Grass looks good around here, and it even looks good in this little zone here. I'm going to try to see why. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. Let's turn all these off. And like have them not static. And then, because I don't think I have occlusion already built into this, but if they're not static, they should just render all the time. Let's take a look at it. Oh, guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. I can see some people jumping in and tuning in. Welcome, welcome. We are working on Maze Rising Trials. And then we're going to maybe be able to work on a little bit more Pitterpot today, guys. We'll see. Well, that's still happening, so it doesn't have to do with that. It's got to have to do with probably the model itself. I don't know why, because I'm actually confused about that because the planes you see are, it's actually rendering on both sides, so you can look down on it and you can see it. So the grass looks 3D instead of it just being rendering it on one side. So I'm a little confused on if that's the case, why we're de-rendering the distance, because we're not even that far away. Because these are just static models. They're not actually considered, you know, painted details where it should be unrendering like that. But maybe there's something in my camera settings that I'm going to need to go and investigate in order to try to get that to be fixed. I'm a little confused. Wow, that looks really awesome. When you click on the entire parent, because I have these all parented to the same object, so we can do some code and grab all of them the same. Although, uh-oh, we got a couple. We got some of them. All of these here for some reason. They made it outside of the parent. See if we got. Let's try this again. Let's unstack them all. And then let's see. All right. Let's go back now and test it one more time and then see if this is actually maybe part of the problem with our de-rendering and all of that. Let's go back and see, guys. It looks good here for some reason. We're not de-rendering at all. We're not dropping out. We're still doing it here, though. I mean, you drop in, like, the distance is like around 10 feet, and then boom, pops in and pops out. That's something that I'm gonna have to figure out, because that's, we don't need pop in like that with something literally this minute. This should be rendering all the time. Yeah, little odd. Let me look at, probably won't be able to fix it here, but let's just look at this. Let's clear. There we go. All right. Let's see if that was throwing a wrench into it. That because we had some occlusion culling on the previous version of this level. I don't understand why it would be a problem. I guess actually I do, because this level would not be the same, and there would have been a wall there blocking off some of those. Yeah, this should work. All right, guys, if we get to the top of the elevator here and then it doesn't de-render, there we go. We fixed our grass problems. There we go. Everything is rendering all the time. Now, when we go to finish this game, each one is a separate object, and we are going to have these to be covered up by occlusion culling. So when you can't see them, and like say you're here, for instance, and this wall is blocking off all those pieces of grass, they will de-render then, and that's how we're going to keep the game running efficiently. So we're going to use all these walls as baking tools. I forgot that we, just boosted up this project, so I forgot that I needed to clear that that old baked data, so that will help out there. Pretty good, pretty good. I would say that this is looking decent. Let's go back here. Let's maximize this scene view so you guys can see and looks awesome. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to throw in. I don't know if I'm gonna do like I might just do. It's going to be like a little interesting because I didn't really want to show this game too much on stream. But if I run 2-hour streams every single day, that is, a decent chunk out of the work day. That's 10 hours of work, basically, that is not going to maze, but going to pitter pot in terms of a week. So I'm still wanting to get this game out next month, by the end of next month. Definitely need to get that out to get in a little revenue. Although I guess we wouldn't have to rush as much if we talked about a little bit yesterday on stream, our meeting and a potential new platform. If that goes by and we're able to do a couple ports and we can sell some games that way, then we won't have to rush as much. But I don't know if I need to give up 10 hours of work per week on this. So we might build like one more maze level together on stream next week and do 1 week of maze streams and then pop back into Pitterpot basically. I will let you guys know. You guys can vote on that if you think that'd be still fun and entertaining and interesting. All right, so let's go here. Let's put these here. It is doing pretty good today on time at least. And I don't know what I'm going to do about upside down stuff. I thought about putting the grass on every piece that was upside down, basically, because there's a lot of like mazes, flipped around. And like when you look at this, there's like a maze built in. The platforms are coming out of the bottom when you're rising up. And then when you come up here, there's a crazy amount of platforms coming out of the bottom. And then over here, there's a crazy amount of platforms coming out of the bottom. But man, if we have to go and put grass under every one of those guys, that's going to take even longer. Might just leave those blank and they'll probably be just fine. Let's get this wall. Yeah, I guess we can just go around this one. Did we get this one? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, we did get all that. Good. Whew. I was going to say, this grass is going to take ages, guys. Crazy stuff. As far as the Pitterpot enemy that we might make, I'm wanting to do an enemy that actually shoots projectiles at you. I think that would be good to change up some of the gameplay because he only has enemies that basically runs after him or just tries to hit him at this point. So I think something that actually has some projectiles that we can dodge or even be able to shoot back at the enemy would be pretty fun. So we'll do that in just a sec. All right. Now I think if we come around this side with our grass and then hit that last wall, that should be floor 2. And then we could take a look at it and it should probably be done. I want to say. Yep. Well, we got to go all the way around here. Then that's good. Yeah, that one's good. So then we just start there. Oh yeah, it's like 5 more pieces. The only thing about it is we got to take time to rotate basically each piece. Let's go ahead and just do it like this. Let's move you here. And we'll do it like this so we can save a little bit of time before we rotate a bunch. And then we'll come in here. Oh man. And go like this. And here we go, like this. All right, looks good, looks good. All right. This is all about to be completely dressed up, guys. This is going to be looking pretty cool, that's for sure. All right. Let's go ahead and put you here, and then we'll do this. We'll turn this one to save a little bit of time. We'll do this one. And then drop him, and then we'll go back to him. Boom. Boom. All right. Okay. We're tasting sweet victory here. There we go. This probably needs to be over one more. Yeah. All right, let's unmaximize that and let's take a look at it and see what it looks like. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Let's run around our corners. Looks good. You can see the grass is actually facing outward on those ledges instead of being like stuck in the corner. And then boom, we got it up here. Looks pretty good. Let's let this render for a sec. Get rid of that. Unanimate this. Now, this floor, there's a whole lot of rendering going on, and it's already starting to chug a little bit in our engine. This probably still wouldn't affect the PlayStation at all. It'd be fine with all these grass models just hanging out. But like I said, when this is all said and done, we're not going to spend the time baking it right now. But we'll bake some occlusion into here so these walls will de-render all of these. And basically none of this will be calculated by the game when we're actually playing it. So it'll make it nice and efficient. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. All of the grass is covered on all sides. Looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I think that this is going to be staying in the game. When you look down, you can see, I mean, we got fog covering up the back of the walls there, but when you look down, you can kind of see, you know, it gives it a little bit more of a shape before we've thrown anything else in there. So looking pretty good. Our next task is we're going to open up Blender here and we are going to switch over and we're going to make a new model for this level. We're going to go and we're going to go up here. How far do we need to go? All right here. We're going to maybe try to do our little super jump pad here. We're going to have to see. Let's see how it turns out. We'll start from scratch and we'll go here with this cube. The cube, I think we can just keep it on a scale of this, and everything is scaled on a grid, so I want to say that it's probably fine if we're just on this Blender scale right here, and then we should be able to just scale it up in the Unity game engine if this doesn't actually look good. So let's take this on the Z axis. And something about like this is probably what we're going for. And we're going to inset this by, yep, about 0.1. That's what I want. And do that again. We're going to delete these. So you guys can see we're going to be making a ring, basically, is kind of our goal here. That's not our goal. We're not going to fill in that together. And so let's go ahead and apply this scale here so we can maybe do a little bit of beveling. I don't know how much I want to do. Let's go ahead and basically get these all seamed up. Because these aren't gonna matter too much because this is gonna be like a gradient texture, like a glowing ambient texture, but we're gonna go ahead and UV mark it here. And then what we want to do is go ahead and take, not those, but these and these. Let's drop a bevel here and let's see. How much do we want? That's a little too much. Let's just do this. Do we want it to be like this, or do we want it to be straight up square? I might just have it to be square, to be honest, instead of introducing extra geometry. Let's take a look at maybe... All right, this is going to be just doing some random design together, guys. Let's go some edges in here. Go up top. Let's go to our wireframe so we can grab everything at once. And let's see what this looks like if we, maybe just... I don't know if I want to do too much design here. I'm like thinking that we might, but this was 1, 2. I think it might look cool if we do some stuff like this. However, the actual trigger volume of the launch pad itself is completely square, so don't want to confuse the player if this is hanging out a little bit farther than it should be. All right, like a little bit of a ring, a launch pad. I don't really know. I don't know if I like that, to be honest. Oh, yo, Space by Name. Still checking out the stream. That's all good, man. All good. Glad you're here having fun with us today. So yeah, I don't know if I want to do it in like, because if this is the case, then we could just turn it into an actual circle. I don't think it looks that good with just those edges there. Like maybe we could do a little bit more like a crystal. Nah, that looks ugly. Let's put them back. Let's see. We might just go with square. Might just go with square. And I'm just trying to think of what else we could do to make it look cool. We're trying to think in our head of what we're going to do to program this to make this look cool. Because we're going to have them moving towards a position. And then once they hit that position, I'll have them reset. So it's like a continual cycle of just going like this. But I kind of want them to shrink over time while they're moving too. So yeah, might be a lot of code to be having like a very complex model doing this. So let's just go ahead and unwrap it and let's just test this right here with what we've got going on. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, this will be... This won't be fine for... This won't be fine for a gradient, but this will be fine with just a color blue. We're just going to color blue. Let me move it over here real quick. Switch folders. Put this in our maze folder. And call this launch pad piece. That's what we're going to go with. Launch pad piece. And we're going to export this out to an FBX. And we're going to go up to change folders, launchpad piece. All right. All right, guys. So we're going to test this real fast. Games, Rising Trials, models, FBX, launchpad piece. All right, guys. Let's see what the scale is here. Yep, this is exactly too small. Let's say we don't need the animation. No materials, no rig. If we convert the units and get rid of that, how big is this guy? Is this massive? So we do need to convert the units. Although I'm confused on why. Launchpad piece, where are you? Where is it here? Launchpad piece. Yeah, I don't understand why this scale is 200 for some reason. I mean 100, we need to make it 200. That's a little odd because we applied the scale in Blender, so it should be coming in as 1:1, I thought. Let me go ahead and reapply that just in case and export it. And we'll just double check. Scale is 1. Control S. Launchpad piece delete. Launchpad piece re-import. Yep, still doing it. Odd. All right. Okay. Everything is odd here in the scale. So we're going to take, which one is this, guys? Which cube? Cube 02. We're going to put the launch pad piece as a parent here so we can center him up. And we're going to move him back out. And I honestly think it's a little too big. We're going to do Z scale of 100. Yes. Then what we're going to do is, let's look at our materials folder here. Now you guys are going to get to see some cool stuff. We're going to be really working in the game engine, building some stuff together. And orange crystal, orange light. Yeah, let's go orange. This is supposed to have an emission on here. I don't know why we aren't getting real-time emission. Let's go over here to post-processing. And what is our bloom value is 1. So does 1 do nothing? I'm just trying to make sure we're not changing too much. If we deselect it here, we're not getting any kind of blurring out. 2 on the bloom. Why do we have to go so high on the intensity to get this light to shine? It's, I guess I'm assuming it's because it's so bright outside. Even if I select real-time global illumination and turn it on with real-time environmental lighting, which we don't really want, I'm not actually seeing any change here, guys. So it's not actually lighting that grass up. Let's look at the yeah. I mean, everything is just literally so bright. I think that's the problem. Like if we get rid of the directional light, maybe. Still not seeing any change. Oh well. That's okay. Orange light, color emission. Let's change this up. And let's brighten it up. There we go. There we go. Some crazy HDR. There we go. If we turn this off, that'd be fine. Yeah, that's just fine. Okay, now let's go back to our post-processing. Cut this way down, back to 1. And then we go back to our orange light. Let's cut it down again. Let me know if you guys think this is too bright. It's probably going to be a little bright. Let's go to transparent here. Yeah. I want it to be see-through so you guys can see it as like a glowing object piece, but we also want it to be like an actual light shining bright. Let's just take a look at this, guys, first before we keep going, before we start doing code and animation and all that. Let's get rid of this. Let's go here. Let me check this real fast. It's pretty cool, to be honest. To take a look at it on the stream. We got our news banner going across. Like I mentioned in the beginning, if you guys weren't here in the very beginning of the stream, we do have a couple of games featured in Sony's summer sale. You guys can get the entire Maze series. So we're working on the third entry to the Maze series right now on this live stream. You guys can pick up Maze 1 and Maze 2, called Maze Festival Trials, on sale on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, and you guys can escape labyrinths together. We also got Night Detective on sale, Pitter Pot on sale, and some Tilting Tile stuff. So pretty cool that they let us be featured in the summer sale. Hoping that we end up selling quite a bit. That would be very helpful. Okay, so let's go ahead and get up here. We're almost here. And then I guess next time I won't do this. Since we're going to be iterating a bunch and testing a bunch, we'll drag the character controller up there. So I don't have to run through the level, wasting all this time. We'll just start up there. Yeah, don't know why I didn't do that this time, but it's fun testing out the PC version. So this is technically the, yeah, this is the PC version. Yeah, okay. Yo, PLP, welcome to the stream. Now the party can finally get started. You are not wrong, sir. All right, guys. So I think this looks pretty cool, to be honest. It's glowing and it's also transparent. It kind of hurts my eyes a little bit. Vote in the chat if this is hurting your eyes or not, or if this looks just fine. So we can jump on it and boom. Let's see what it looks like all blurred out. Whoa, it is a lot to handle there. But I absolutely love the launch pad here. This is crazy. So this is looking pretty good. This is going to have its own custom sound. It's going to be like zoom, and you're going to fly up and then fall down and go boom. Yeah, these are going to be everywhere in another level, and it's almost reminds me of, you know what, I didn't even think about this at all when I was programming this, but kind of reminds me of when you're jumping on the, if you guys play Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, there's these boats that you can jump on in the sky on the way up to the Wind Temple, and basically when you would land on them, they would launch you up just like this, so pretty awesome. Yeah, PLP, so we were talking about that earlier. I was trying to make some cool effects, so basically when you hit this, it blurs for a second. It's like your eyes are adjusting because you've been launched up into the sky. It blurs the background and gives a motion blur at the same time. And I've been asking people what they thought about it because I'm afraid that it would give a little bit of motion sickness to certain people. So I'm going to make that an accessibility option in the pause menu to where you can turn that off if you don't want the effect. Because I don't think that looks, this could make people sick if you're having to do this a bunch and then land on pad to pad. I might have it just turned off by default and then, you know, motion blur be an option. Just trying to decide. I kind of liked it, but then now that we've got the launch pad here so we can see the model, it's a little bit too much. I do love this glow here when we do a pause. It's so awesome to see that, like, the blur is like, it's accentuating that light just a little bit stronger. So, all right, guys, we're going to start with this base piece here. And we're going to show how some of these like TreeFall Studios objects are created. So we're going to call this launch pad parent. This is going to be the parent object. We're going to zero this out. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to take this And we're gonna parent it to this for a second. So our launchpad parent is like right in the center of this object. We're gonna go over to this little icon here, guys, and we're gonna change it to this green so we can see the words launchpad parent. We're gonna unparent it, and then we're gonna go back here, make sure the scale and everything is correct. That looks good. Then we're gonna put the piece inside of the parent. Then we're gonna make a couple more of these pieces. 1, 2, 3. And we can save some time by actually just getting rid of these once these Unity renames, and we'll put them 1, 2, 3 ourselves. This is technically 4. This would be 1. This would be 2. And then this would be 3. All right, guys. So you're going to see what we're going to do in just a second. We're going to go up by 1. Yep. 1 for each one. Let's take a look at that. It's a little too bright. I think when we got a bunch of them there, it's a little too bright. Let's take a look at this. Let's turn up the transparency just a tad so it's not so see-through. And let's go get this color here and drop it down one more time. Maybe, yeah, something like that. Or let's put it back up, to be honest, and let's go to our post-processing. Might need to turn the bloom down. Let's see. Just ever so slightly. That's like no intensity on bloom, so I don't know about that. Because we were already running it at 1. All right, let's go back. Let's do it the other way. Let's go put it back to 1, and then we'll go mess with our lighting some more. We'll just turn down this intensity just a little bit. We'll use the scale slider here because we're not trying to blind the player. We want to know that this is a jump pad. Okay, and then let's go ahead and go way down here and let's get our actual player. He's somewhere in this list. Let's shrink up. Here we go. And let's go ahead and create an empty and call this player start. It's going to be our player start object. We are going to drag it up here. Let's put it here. We're going to player here. We're going to copy this position. We're going to drop it in our player start, guys. So we can go back exactly where we want to. We're going to hide that for now. And we're going to take our player and we're going to throw him up through the sky. And over here, we're going to zoom in. And we're going to drop him right about here. That way we don't have to keep running through the level every time we want to test one of the things that we are iterating on. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this, guys, and see how it looks. PLP says an option would be cool. Yeah, I'm afraid whenever it comes to like motion blur and stuff, most people hate that. If you don't have an option to turn it off, then, you know, it's not really going to be the best. Okay, so those look decent. We're probably going to play around with them a little bit more. Yeah, you can still see that they're lighting up when you pause and stuff, so yeah, looks okay-ish. Wonder where this will... Welcome to great coding. And set us back to the very beginning where we started. Let's go, boys. Okay, so now we're going to build this system here. And we're going to basically be... Let's create another empty. And let's call this cracking it up. Gotta make sure I keep my eyes on the time. It's 3:53. Guys, let me know when we hit like 4:15. This is gonna be launch. We're gonna call this game object launchpad piece or launchpad end spot. Launchpad end spot. We're gonna do this, denote this in red. Oh man, didn't okay. Launchpad end spot. There we go. And we're going to take this guy and we're going to put him in launchpad parent. We're going to zero him out, so we got it here. And we're going to drag him up to about here. All right, I'm thinking, guys. Give me one sec. There's a couple ways that we can do this here, but I'm thinking we might have to change it up a little bit. All right, because I've already got the code in my head that we're going to try to attempt to do together on the stream, but I can already foresee some problems because if we keep this launch pad in spot as a child of this object, which I want to do because I want to be able to create this, put the code on the parent, zip it up like this, create a prefab, and then be able to drag them out wherever I want to and have them just work. That's what we want to do. That's the level design that we're trying to go for. But we're going to be having a problem if this is actually a child object. You can see the position that we're going to be moving to is different. We cannot start from this launchpad parent because this is outside of, this is the actual parent object. This is world position here, and this is basically local position here. So we're not going to be able to start warping these from this to this unless we build another spot and we do a start spot. But our start spot is going to kind of take up the same spot or the same words as our launch parent, and I don't like how that looks really. So what we're probably going to do to fix that, this code will probably work. We'll call this start spot, put this up above here, make it this, and we'll go to the parent. Instead of having the words, we'll drag it around with a green dot. So then the object will kind of look like that. So we can get a little bit more organization going on that way, guys. Okay, PLP says, I've been asking this a lot, so excuse me, but when do you think we're going to see the next TreeFall release? Pikmin 4 is out Friday, but if you did a release same day, you can guarantee I'll be playing that first. Yeah, we're not releasing anything on Friday, bro. We'll be trying to get this game out by next month. You weren't here in the beginning of the stream. I was talking about the reason we're doing Maze on stream is to get a game out next month, which we need to do. I'm going to need to work on this game some on stream because if I'm doing 2-hour streams every single day, that is 10 hours per week of work time that will be taken up on Pitterpot and not the project that's coming out next. So I don't want to keep working on Maze a bunch on stream. I want Pitterpot to be the game that we work on for like the next year together. But I'm probably gonna have to take like maybe the next week and just have Maze on stream, during the week, and just do like a big Maze level together, so we can get a little bit farther and I can get a little bit more work time in this game. I'm working on it in my hours of work off stream, but those extra 10 hours per week is gonna definitely help me push over the limit because based on my work ability and when all this stuff needs to be submitted, I don't have that much longer to be able to do it, and I want this game to be absolutely mind-blowingly awesome. So we're probably going to work on a few things like this on the stream, and then maybe do a little bit of Pitterpot at the end. So I'm thinking next month, the earliest I'm getting anything out, this would be July, August. We launch on Tuesdays. 15th is by far the earliest that I could do. Probably August 22nd is probably the planned release date for this game. That would give me today is what, the 19th. Let's see, one more full one, it's the rest of this week and weekend, one full week next week, 2 days of the following week, 30th and 31st. And then if I could have it all submitted up, and that gives me one more week in August before submission. It's possible that I could hit the 22nd if I work those 3 weeks straight and put Maze on my stream time. It could be done because we've already got a lot of other stuff worked on in the back. But this game really needs a lot of polish still. We got the level designs coming in hot. They're going to be pretty fun, but we got a lot to redo. Got to redo the coins, redo the UI, redo the pause, Earlier in the stream, we were putting grass everywhere. So we got grass around all the walls here. We're going to make some new plant models, some new butterflies, some birds, some caterpillars, some crazy stuff. So got quite a bit to do. And right now, we're going to knock out this launch pad before we got to go today. You guys are going to see some live code. And if this doesn't work, well, then I'll be sad. I'll be a sad little boy. But Pikmin 4 is out Friday, and I am thinking that Friday stream, I might take Friday off and play Pikmin on stream, actually, just for fun. But I hadn't decided. I'm so mixed on Pikmin 4. I don't really like the look of it, guys. I am a lifelong Pikmin fan. Pikmin 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, tied for first place, basically. And I don't really like a lot of the design decisions. And I watched 3 different reviews. I watched GameSpot's bad review today, where they gave it a 7. I watched Game Informer's review, and I watched Nintendo Life's review. And everything they had to say about the game, there was a lot that I was like, okay, so it's creative, there's treasures, there's all this stuff. But all the things that they all gave the game good props for is things that I absolutely hate. I don't like Ochi. I don't want an OP assistant making the game easy for me. I don't think that that's going to add to the game. I think it's going to take away from the game. And also the time management feels like it's really kind of weak. There's still a day timer, but everyone is complaining. It's like everyone just hates Pikmin 1 for some reason. Everyone is saying how like it's too stressful and all this stuff, and that there's no limits. That this game is so serene, peaceful, and easy, and you can just take your time and explore all you want. And that's not how I play Pikmin at all. I play to become as efficient as possible and do as many runs, and I'll replay the campaign over and over and over and over again, trying to get the day count of how fast I can beat the game even quicker, and basically figure out how to be more efficient with my time. I was reading and listening to a bunch of the reviews, and they basically said that the game is around 30 hours. That's a little too long. I mean, most Pikmin games are short, so that's a little too long to replay over and over and over to maximize your time. It's more of a longer adventure game, which there's nothing wrong with that per se. I think it's probably going to be awesome if they can fill up that whole time slot with great gameplay. But I can already tell this is probably not one that I'm going to replay over and over and over again. And I don't know, it doesn't look like there's any kind of mission mode that I can go for high scores and stuff. Pikmin 3 has the best mission mode of any of the games. It's not my favorite game by far, but I think that Pikmin 3 has the most replayability in terms of going for high scores, and you can see other people's scores online. So it doesn't look like that's in there, so that's kind of sad. And I absolutely hate this is going to be an unpopular gaming opinion, I guess, but I absolutely hate games where you make your own character. I hate character creators. I hate them so much. I feel like it destroys the story, takes me out of the experience. I want to see a story that is crafted around a certain character that developers created, and I want to experience that story. I don't want to make my own character, and I don't want to go rescue the hero of the game. I want the game to be about Captain Olimar. I don't care about the Rescue Corps whatsoever. So that's like the only thing, that's like really kind of getting me on there. And I'm like, everyone was talking about they might be retconning Pikmin, all the games beforehand, because they made it seem like the consistency is really, really bad. They made it seem like, Olimar is on the planet for the first time and he never escaped, and, he's dead now and you have to rescue him, all that stuff. I basically hate that so much. So yeah, there's my Pikmin rant over. I'm probably gonna pick it up and play it. I'm excited, and I also am dreading it at the same time, because I don't think that they're taking the series in a direction that seems less like the classic Pikmin that I actually care about. So yeah, there's a lot of comments on that. PLP says, I don't think graphically looks that good at all for being 30 FPS. Some of the animations look a bit cheap. These streams on while working keeps me motivated, seeing you work on things every day. I've never finished a Pikmin game. Most experience is half of 3. I want to play the original 2. Seems like 4 is supposed to be more accessible for new players. Pikmin 1 is definitely stressful, but I think that's the entire point. It makes it unique. People are just babies. I get Nintendo wanting to make Pikmin more appealing for a mainstream audience, but I don't think it's making it easier. Is going to rake in any more sales. I think it's definitely good first Pikmin for beginners. It'll be the first one I likely finish. I don't like them either. The options in 4 are so bad. And then Space by Name says, dang, I have a character creator. And then PLP says, the self insert characters make the story so shallow a lot of the time. That's exactly what I think. Like, I typically don't like them. I'm okay with them in like Fire Emblem when they like do a self insert character and you're like the tactician that leads the team, you know, because it's a game where you just look at the map and you move all the characters. It's okay in some of those games, but sometimes I'd rather actually be the main character, like your main character is Ike, for example, something like that. I don't really like self-insert characters. I think they do make the story shallow, in my opinion. So we pretty much don't really do that in TreeFall Studios games. And yeah, I don't think that it's going to really get them any more sales either, per se. I don't. I played the demo. It felt like such a slog. I hated the dialogue. It's too much. It's too much hand holding. Pikmin 1 is not that hard. I don't know why everyone is complaining. They give you 30 days, and the game is so short. If you fail the game and you can't figure it out, well, it's so short you can just try again and learn from your mistake. That's like part of the game. But like literally, like as a kid, I could beat the game in like 19 days. And like that's I could beat it like 11 days faster as a kid. So I'm like, I don't understand, why people are complaining nowadays. That's like a whole huge part of the charm. I actually like Pikmin 2 better. It got rid of the time limit that Pikmin 1 had, but I thought Pikmin 2 made up for it with like just how difficult it was, enemies, caves, all that kind of stuff. People just clown on the caves. I was listening to all these people on Twitter and on YouTube, watching a bunch of Pikmin videos recently. They clown on the caves, but I don't understand like going in with limited resources, not being able to create more Pikmin, trying to figure out what you take in beforehand, not knowing what awaits you, and trying to determine if you're going to escape with your treasures or keep going to finish the cave. That is some of the best strategy ever. And the Pikmin 2 areas are just awesome. Both the original games are much, much better than 3, in my opinion. I would play 1 and 2. But Thomas says the time limit was the worst. Bro, the time limit is the best. It's the best. It's the best. My Pikmin lineup is 2, then 1, then 3, and then I'm already like predetermined that 4 is gonna be the fourth one. Like I'm gonna like it the least. I'll probably like it better than Hey Pikmin, but maybe not, to be honest. I'm like, because you don't play as Olimar, so like I don't really care. Don't want to be a hater, but what can you say? Okay, this is gonna be launch pad piece movement. You're gonna look at you're gonna get to see a little bird's eye view into TreeFall Studios script naming. I just make it up as I go along. It's not that efficient, but it sort of helps me remember what we're working on. Yeah, so there's my Pikmin rant. I kind of think I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna pick it up from GameStop, and I'm probably gonna try to trade in games to get it, so I don't actually pay any money for it. But part of me wanted to just wait and see and like not get it on Friday and just see like if they are retconning the series or what Olimar's part of the game really is before I actually bought it. But not totally sure. It's been 10 years since the last Pikmin game, and I play them like over and over and stuff. So I just want to kind of check it out. But after playing the demo, I was going to say this just a second ago. I can't stand the camera. I think that's the worst decision ever. It takes out like the real-time strategy of the game. I can't stand it because basically what they do is they put the camera behind you like it's a third-person adventure game. They're trying to do everything they can to make it more accessible and appealing because the graphics look good, but people need to see the camera behind the character so they can go, oh, look what I can explore, instead of like viewing a top-down view of basically how to go through a map strategically. And I hate it. And they tell you in the demo that you can raise the camera up to get it similar to how it was in the older games, which I would do instantly. But then every time you would go into a cave, every time you would go into a cutscene, it would reset it back behind your character, like down at the bottom, and then you'd have to be fidgeting with it over and over and over. So I hate it. I'm not too excited about that either. So, but everyone says it's good. and either everyone is wrong and they just give Nintendo games 9 out of 10, or maybe it is good. Maybe like there's enough puzzles and enough new features to where like the gameplay is fun enough to where, you know, maybe it's worth it, I guess. So we'll have to see, guys. We'll have to see. All right, so I'm gonna pull up this code here. I'm gonna actually move this to the other side. I need to see two things at once. Let me open up another thing. Let me go ahead and I think there's probably, all right, what kind of items do we have in this? Let me see, because I should be able to just copy and paste so we can save a little time. Get some elevator scripts. Yeah, it's not on this one actually. It's on elevator, parent elevator, elevator here. There we go. I'm gonna pull that over for a sec. We're gonna copy and paste the movement code from that because that'll save us some time. Let's go back over here and look at our launch pad that we're working on. Yeah, so let's go here. We need to start. We need to start and end target. I'm looking at this other code. Give me one sec. I'm gonna see if I can make it better. This is going to be, well, let's do shrinking over time. Let's see. It needs to shrink really, really slowly. I think we're gonna be running at like 60 FPS. Did we put a frame rate in here, or was that in PitterPod only? Okay, give me one sec. Do we have a target frame rate in here? We're gonna need this. Yeah. Target frame rate. Because we're gonna do a little bit of code that's frame rate dependent real quick, guys. All right, target frame rate. Make sure we're on 60. I'm sure we're probably hitting it, but we do got a lot of programs open. Give me a sec. Let's close Blender real fast here, guys, so we can make sure the computer's running as efficiently as possible. Let's click in here, click off this. All right, so this should be 60 FPS, and we're gonna do a little bit of scaling, and it's gonna be time dependent on that. So what we're gonna do is basically, I gotta think. Okay, so what we're gonna do is launchpad piece movement. So here's our script, guys. We're starting from scratch. We'll just do this from scratch. And let's go get rid of these things. Actually, let's just leave them for now. We'll probably get rid of them. And we need a couple public variables. I'm gonna go ahead and pull my, whoa! That was wild, guys. We're gonna pull the elevator out to the other side. We're gonna go with some transforms, and we're gonna call these, so we can just drag them in. Although, yeah, it's fine. And then we're gonna call this start spot, end spot, and then we need one that's a target. Oh, actually, no. Let's see. We need some vector 3s. We're gonna call this target. And then we're gonna go here. We're gonna set up some booleans, and then we're gonna call this time to shrink. If it's time to shrink, we're gonna do a little bit down here. Let's go ahead and set up some things. Let's go shrinking. Open up a little method down here, and then we need a, let's go with a public speed. This is gonna be how fast we're moving. So this is gonna be how fast we're moving. This is gonna be where we're gonna be going to. And then we're actually gonna be just we're gonna be dropping and dragging these guys in. I wonder. I don't think you can do that. I think you have to convert it. So put it back. Yeah, it's fine. Whoa, lost my speed though. And then what we're gonna do, we're just gonna drop this in the update here. Also, don't worry about judging TreeFall Studios code habits too closely. We're not gonna be the most efficient in the world, that's for sure. Okay, so yeah, we don't need to instantiate that. We need to go here, and we're gonna go like start a movement one. Actually, we can just do this here. Just let me move this over real quick. I need to visualize this real fast. So we actually need to separate because they're not all, because all four of these are going to go at one time. That's the goal here of the code, is all these are going to move at once, but they're not all starting from the same exact position. So they're not all going to be we can't use our, because we're going to use our launch pad start spot and end spot as our public transforms that we're going to be moving between, because we definitely want to when they hit the end spot, we're going to loop them back through the cycle and they're going to go back to the start, but they're not actually going to start at the start. So it actually shouldn't matter. We should just go ahead and probably start them by moving. Let's say. All right. Yeah, I think we can probably grab this. Thanks for joining into the stream, guys. Welcome, welcome. I see a lot of you guys joining in. So what we're going to say is we actually need another variable here. We need another vector3. Let's get what we're going to call our current position. This is our target position. And then we're going to start here. So every frame, we're going to take our current position and we're going to set it to our transform.position. Actually, are we going to do this? Because this is... If we do it this way, we have to put the script on all four of these pieces. But then we could probably handle the start spots pretty good. So yeah, we'll probably do it that way, to be honest. And let's just put it here for just a sec. Let's go with speed of like 10. We don't know what those are going to look like yet. And then we will take our launchpad start spot, drag it in here, our end spot, and drag it in here. So we can go ahead and have that set up. And we can go ahead and get rid of the component here. So we have a base setup here for what we're doing. And then let's go back. And then all right, so what we're gonna do is every single frame on update, we're gonna say our current position is our transform position, where the actual little beam of light, our little launch pad bar is. And then we're gonna say if, actually we need an in position. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what the most efficient way to do this is. Probably to just go ahead and create an in position here and then set in position to in spot to get our transform dot position. Because if we don't do it this way, then over here when we do our next if statement, we're going to have to grab the, we're gonna have to go down the line where I have to get the transform and then get the position from the transform every frame instead of just getting it once and saving it as a vector3. This is probably going to be better for our computer if we do it this way and gonna run more efficiently. So we're going to do it like this. And then basically what we're going to say is if our current position does not equal the end position, then we're going to do some movement. And then we're going to call this here. We're going to go by our speed variable that we put in here. And then we're just going to times this by time.delta time. So we're Actually, yeah, so this is independent of the frame rate, but our shrinking, well, to be honest, we can just make it the same way. We can just times it by time. We'll get it in just a second. And we'll say this. We'll do this. Transform dot position. And then we're going to head towards our target, and we're going by our step speed. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna have to set our targets. So what this is basically saying is if we aren't where we're at currently is not where we want to be at the end, and our end is up here. So if we actually, yeah. Is this exactly one above that? It needs to be, this is 1.5 on the Y, and then this in spot is 1.5 on the Y, exactly 2. Yeah, half intervals are going to be fine for this, guys. That's going to be all right. So, man, it's going to be cutting it close. So what we're going to basically be saying is this is going to start off at 1.5. So the position is not equal to this position. So what we're going to do is every frame we're going to start moving by our speed up to here. And then once we do that, then we're going to have to start doing some new code here. So once it hits this, we need to go and throw it back to the beginning. So we're gonna have to write some code here that's gonna set our targets. So our target is currently not actually listed. And in the beginning, what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna set our target to the end spot. But then if we hit this end spot, so if we do equal to this, then like if we go here, and if we go to if our current position is equal to our end position, then our target is going to be changed to, actually, no, we're not going to even do that. We're not going to do that at all. What we're going to do is we're going to go to transform dot position is equal to, can you just set it this way? Or yeah, let's see if we can do it this way. We're going to be playing with this on the fly. So we'll set it to the start spot, not the app start spot dot position. See if that gives us any problems. Okay. And then do I need to have it? Let's just do this. So this is saying if our position does not equal the end, and then this is saying this doesn't even need to be else if, it just could just be else, because that means our position does equal the end, although it's got to be really, really close. We'll leave it like that, it's fine. Then we're going to take the object and we're going to put it back to the beginning. So then it's going to keep looping through, and it should just go move up, hit that, start over, move up, hit that, start over. And it's actually fine that we shouldn't have to do anything else, because with the start spots just yet, let's just give that a whirl and let's see what this looks like. Because our impositions are done. And yeah, let's just see what this looks like, guys. Might look terrible, might not look bad at all. We are flying towards something. We might not be able to do this, actually, with it all being in the parent. They might have to be they might have to be outside the parent, because it's okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I gotta think. I love how Thomas said. He says, ah, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I was thinking, okay. I was like, all right, in my head, I'm like, this should just work. That way we can leave this all one object, and then we're going to prefab this up to drag it all out. But if we do it that way, this is technically the local value, and it's just grabbing, the code is just grabbing these numbers here, and it's just placing that as the vector 3 target that we're wanting to drive to. So that's not actually going to work, because if you look, if we create an object at, if we create an empty here, so I can explain this to you guys, we call this test object here, and we put it to 0 and 0 and then 2, which is basically what the position of this object is. And then we go over down here, let's grab our test object, and then we see where it is. Our little beams are going to be flying all the way down to this spot specifically before they warp back to the beginning. So that's not actually going to work. Let's delete that object, and then I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to redo it just a second. But we are getting close to my time limit, which kind of stinks, because I have to run earlier today. We're gonna cut the stream off exactly at 4:30 on the dot. I'm gonna be maybe I gotta go grab my wife and pick her up, so I can't be late. Thomas says you could try increasing the Y position of the individual objects. Yeah, that's exactly. That would be even easier, I guess. I guess you could do it. I guess you could do it like you could just increase the Y position, and then once it hits the okay. Yeah, okay, I got it. If we do it this way, we can keep everything, because we can do it the way that I was doing it originally. However, if we're gonna just input there's got to be a way to do this as well, to where you convert these to the world. That way it can all be one object, but we could also do it without doing the public variables here. You guys will see tomorrow how I end up deciding to do it. But in this scenario, we could just increase the position. So we could basically say, yeah, so what we do is we get rid of this, and we get rid of this. And you would do like transform dot position. Can you actually set this without, or do you have to say plus u factor 3? Oh shoot, I hit insert. Let's see. We just want to go up by the y, so we would go up like this, and we actually go like 0. So let's do something like this. So this would be like adding a new vector every frame. Something like this would probably be, now this is going to be not tied to the frame rate. So Thomas says, I think you could use transform.position for world position, and then use transform.local position to keep it local to the parent. Does that work? I mean, I can do it this way. We can move it up on the Y. But if that's all you have to do... Let's see. Let's see if that works, because then this will be easier. But the other method that he's saying, that Thomas is saying in the chat, is just as easy. That actually still doesn't work. We're gonna have to do it that way, unless I missed one. Did I miss one? The in position, this is vector 3, is equal to this transform.local position, and this is our position. That should be the vector 3 locally, and our... Oh, it's because we never... How does this even work? Where is our target even being set at? Target should be 0, 0. That's what's wrong here. We didn't even type in our target. So let's just grab this and be like, this is, we can just do it here. So we'll say target is equal to in position. And then once we hit the in position, Actually, we don't even need the target at all. Let's get rid of that variable. It should just be in position. Because I was thinking we were gonna need that originally because I was thinking that we were gonna be switching um our start and finish, but we're not actually going to be switching our start and finish because we're just going to warp back to the start. So we're not going to move it up and down. We need that code if we're going to be moving it up and down. You know, like we want to start in the middle and we want to pop up and down. But I don't even think we're going to need it at all. So let's just get rid of that. Let's get rid of the target for just a second, clean that up. So is this going to work? This should work, I think. This is why you don't code on stream, guys. Especially whenever you're doing it live, then you don't. It's like you can't think, dude, bro. It still doesn't work. All right, forget that. We're doing it the other way. All right, I got just a few minutes. I'm gonna have to hurry this up. So if we get rid of this, let's put this back, and then so we can say if we haven't reached the end. Is it even going to work at all? It should. I don't understand why it wouldn't work. This is what I'm confused about because these guys are part of the parent too, so they have the exact same local transforms. All they're trying to do is get to the 2 on the Y, and you know, like this guy, he's 0. He's just got to go up by 2. Okay, so like I'm confused on why. So hopefully this code isn't breaking anything. Um, Thomas is watching it fly away. It cracks me up every time. Yeah, welcome to game development, boys. Welcome to game development. All right, so now we're saying if, let's just try it this way. If the current position does not equal the end, we're going to add up on the Y, and then now we don't need to do this equals because we will literally never catch this frame. It'll be so fast. We'll just change it to greater than or equal to. Actually, we can't even do that. We have to say if our current position, oh God, can we not even do this at all? Or we're gonna have to do different math. Position dot, let's go Y here. Now this is gonna work. No, right? Is this gonna work? Position dot Y. Yeah. Let's get rid of this. Drop him down. All right, so now we're going to just check our Y position because this is what we're worried about. We're just moving up and down, and we're going to say if it's greater than or equal to the Y position of the end spot, we are going to replace our guy here. We're going to put our transform back at the start. So this should work, maybe, technically, sort of, somewhat. All right, guys, let's see. Is this the intended... Bro. Okay, this is not going to work at all. Screw this. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Let's put these back out here. And then Mekan says, okay, I'm late today, but hi, what's up, Mekan? We're like right here at the end, and now I'm having all these code problems. It's getting crazy. Maybe you'll know the answer too. Thomas says you can use vector3.distance for easy calculations too. Yeah, for sure. Is vector3.distance more efficient than just a greater than or equal to calculation? Because obviously that math would have worked. However, what's happening here is, so we just go back here and let's go to game and then let's go to play focus so we can see it in the scene view and go ahead and grab a start here and see what happens. Let's look at and see. Why did it do that? Okay, the code just instantly works by taking those out of the parent, obviously. This is exactly what I wanted. Although it's not exactly what I wanted because this is ugly. We need to do these at a different... we are going to, like I said, we were going to scale these after we got these moving right. But it just doesn't look right because... we can make this movement actually look right, guys. But you see, what I don't like about this is that there's a brief moment where this is like empty, and then the top piece comes back and hits down here, and it looks like it's kind of just like glitching back down over and over and over. We don't really like that. So what we're gonna do is to fix that, we could basically make a fifth rotator and put it underneath the ground so it's coming out of the ground. And when the actual start spot, so basically what we would do is we take you down here and we would drag our start spot like one more down, and then this will be launch piece. This would technically be 1. Let's make you 0. Welcome to coding. Let's put you here. And then, yeah, that a boy. Thomas is on it. Don't forget about your wife. Let's see. Does this look right? All right, we're gonna test this, guys. We're gonna go back here, and then we're gonna be calling this stream today. This is not exactly how I wanted it to look. It's almost there, and then we're gonna do some scaling and do some stuff tomorrow. So, yeah, that's actually about right. The only thing it looks a little weird is because the top piece, when it hits the top, it just disappears and does not look good. It just warps away instantly. But what we're gonna be doing is we're going to be scaling these down so they like shrink down to nothing, and it's kind of going to look like a volcano launcher basically. So I think that that's actually going to look fine when it's all said and done. And when you hit the launch pad, you launch way up in the sky. You can even jump up here onto this. So that's pretty cool. We're going to stop there for now. Boom, hit the roof. And we're going to continue this tomorrow. You guys are going to learn. You're learning some serious code errors, and you're learning from what things work and what don't work. Mekan says, may I ask why this visual is not a particle system? We're actually going to build a particle system on top of this to add a little bit of an effect. We could, I mean, you could do it as a particle system, to be honest. It doesn't really matter because you can add 3D. You could add 3D meshes, and you could use this as a particle system and then shrink it over time. I guess technically I know how to do the exact thing that I want in particle system. I just thought it would be a little complicated to do it, and I thought this way would be a little bit easier. And then we're gonna do some like sprinkles of particles all throughout. Although maybe we'll try it both ways and then see which prefab is a little bit more efficient on the game engine side and on the system. We'll have to see. So that's what we're going to call it for today. Let me go ahead and grab over here. So that was kind of fun. Let's delete this here too so you guys can see this. Let's pop up to our full screen. And yeah, because I got to get rolling in just a little bit. I built a little bit of buffer in if I had to go past 4:30. I can't wait much longer. So guys, thanks for checking out the stream. Got a bunch of people tuning in and watching. Had fun. So just to recap, we went over here, and in the very beginning we started creating extra grass here. So we were making new models for this to be a little bit better, and then we created this model together. We changed up the bloom effects and the material, and then we were just struggling together to start getting an effect through code. So this is a little bit different. We haven't really coded before on stream, so I hope you guys were enjoying that. That was actually pretty funny. We should probably do some more of that because so many times your brain thinks you have the total solution, and you try something and then it just flies away like it happened today, or all sorts of crazy stuff happens and the game totally breaks, and you got to think about why it doesn't work. And as long as you've got enough programming experience, you can realize instantly, oh, that was really stupid. I did not think that through. So that was definitely fun. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let me go ahead and give you guys a rundown of some of the other news. So we're going to be taking a look at Maze a little bit. Probably next week, we'll probably do a full week on Maze so I can get this game out to you guys next month. And I'm going to work on it on stream and off stream. And then we'll be back to Pitter Pot like normal. Also, Sony's Summer Sale started today, so you can go on your PlayStation 4 and you can pick up the entire Maze series, which is Maze and Maze Pedestal of Trials, for cheap, and you can play it on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Night Detective is also on sale, so is Pitter Pot, and also Micro Challenge, Tilting Tiles Micro Challenge, and Tilting Tiles Full Tilt Bundle are both featured in Sony's Summer Sale. So you can go pick up some TreeFall Studios games, that's puzzle games, adventure games, 3D platforming games, and a point and click adventure. that you're talking about tons of different genres right there. You can try it all for TreeFall Studios, and you can pick them up on the cheap. It'll help us out a ton. Before we end this video, I got to give a shout out to everybody who supports TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. I got to give a personal shout out to Carmen Red, Overhyped Gamer, Sharkamino, and PLP. Thank you guys for what you do for TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. Your names can be in the videos like this. You can get personal shout outs. You can get your names in the credits of games and more perks if you join us on Patreon. So if you want to support this game studio or this channel, go ahead and find the links down below for our Patreon page. Also, guys, it's pretty crazy. The Discord is growing. You can find links below for our Discord. Go ahead and join in and join up if you're interested in hanging out with our TreeFall community some more. I was noticing that the streams, we had some great views yesterday and the previous day. I barely scheduled them in time, and we had no thumbnails uploaded, but people were really tuning in and watching. So thanks for everybody who's tuned in and watched today. It's also been a fun, great stream today. I really appreciate it. We're going to be keeping it up throughout this week and next week to keep seeing how they're going. But I just got to thank everybody for tuning into the stream. I highly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And guys, I just hope you keep enjoying these videos. Let me know in the comments on the stream what you guys have been thinking. If everything is going good and you're like, you want to keep seeing more, we're going to keep them up. I actually think that it's going to help us reach our YouTube partnership status. We're almost there. I had a huge milestone that we announced yesterday. We talked about when we started the stream yesterday, we were at 1397. So 1,397 subscribers on this YouTube channel. And when we finished the stream yesterday, we hit 1,400 on the dot. So we got 3 subscribers from yesterday's stream. So I said that once we got past 1,400, we're going to be on the road to 1,500, and we're going to do all sorts of giveaways and a fun time there. So be looking forward to more information from that. If you are new to this channel and you don't know anything about TreeFall Studios, we do game development content on here, tutorials, tips, advice, and I show you development of my games through live streams, devlogs, and trailers. So if that sounds familiar or good to you, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join us as we hit the road to 1,500. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Highly appreciate it. Running a little early today, but we still had a blast. I will catch you next time, and I'll see you guys tomorrow around 3 o'clock. See ya.